Erica, did you get my text last night about your workbook?
Yes, I did. Thank you. I'm gonna swing by today to grab it.
Okay, it's just standing up on the edge of my desk in the red binder for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, they finally came in late last night, or when I texted you, I was actually heading to the office to put it together for you. So you had it. I don't want you to have to wait until I got back.
Thank you.
I'm such a gracious coach. I know, I'm awesome. You don't have to tell me. Okay, where are you at? What are your wins? Sorry, I'm packing because we're leaving soon. Actually, mainly what I'm doing is making sure I don't have anything that the TSA will pull me aside to interview me for 45 minutes over.
Do you have pre-check?
Shut up, Christina.
James just got pre-check. So
I will work on that just for you.
thanks.
Where you on your way to, Dan?
Seattle. Seattle.
Oh,
Funny story there while you guys are warming up your wins. We flew to Hawaii last year, and in my backpack I had a 38 special round and one of my pistols that I carry with me, just the bullet. I took everything else out, didn't realize there was one bullet in the bottom of my backpack because it was full of other shit. Flew through Phoenix fine, get in Hawaii, do our Hawaii trip, that's fine. We're flying out of Hawaii, we're running late to our plane. It's a 9 o'clock flight. Everyone's tired, 9 p.m. And I get pulled aside and talked to by TSA for 45 minutes. And my wife wanted to kill
mm.
me over a bullet. It was kind of funny. To me, anyways. She is still not over it. Um, I'm I'm guessing that she's not likely to ever get over it. So I'm just gonna every time she's like, "Did you check your backpack for bullets?" Which is a weird sentence to ever have to tell somebody, but now you know. That's what I was doing. I was checking my backpack for bullets.
My wife has muttered the same sentence many times.
She's her train of thought. Did you charge your headphones? Do you have your tablet? Did you check your backpack for bullets? So, anyways, that's
Yeah.
my win. Is I have a great support system here at home. What's your wins?
Yeah.
Interest rates had a little improvement.
A little bit, little dip and dive in our direction. Love that.
You know my win. I finished that stinking spreadsheet.
That was pretty awesome. So, Christina sent us a spreadsheet for all the new builds in the area, which is fantastic. So she says I can share it to you, but I figured why not let her share it to you?
How do I do that? Just put the link in the chat.
Yeah, just like I did.
Oh, look at that.
Leverage. Leverage. All right. Well, you only got me for a few minutes this morning. Let's make it count. What are your wins, your celebrations? What are you proud of?
Still working on my broker's class, and I did take the test, but I'm past my BMC, one of my BMC classes, and
There
I
you
have
go.
to take two more. Yeah, so still getting there, still chugging along. So yeah, I took the final class, but I still need to work on some things, but I'm getting there.
Love that. Love that. Keep going. Sheldon,
I have a personal win,
let's
and
hear it.
actually speaking of Hawaii, my wife landed yesterday, safe and sound. She's back home for a month. So yeah, my win is that my wife gets to go back home and spend time with some family that we only get to see, a few times a year.
Love that. My win is that one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight of you are on camera. Nine of you are on camera. That makes more than 50%. And you're also beautiful this morning. Even you. Yeah, you know I'm talking to you.
I finished my military relocation flyer and everybody loves it that I've sent it to.
Heck yeah, girl. Go back to that statement you made last week, right? If the community doesn't know who you exist, you don't exist.
Aaron, where are you?
In her house.
Done?
You're where? You're in Tucson?
Yeah.
Are you willing to share it or no?
I can.
She's nervous to share it to this group because, like, hey, share it up. We'd love to give you feedback. So Love that. All right, let's continue on our conversation series unless you guys have something specific you want to talk about. Any Thursdays I like to talk deals, situation stuff, but I want to continue on with our NLP stuff. Any takers on anything else? Going once, going twice, sold. All right. Today we're going to talk about anchoring and state management. You've heard me say this: story, state, strategy. So what is state? Bueller. Someone take a stab at it. What is a state? Let's go back to science class. Are there 3 types of states?
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Right.
So just like there's a physical state, which makes you solid, liquid, or gas, there's an emotional state. Your state of mind, your state of being, your emotional state. That's what state is. So how do top performers stay composed under pressure, right? Don't people that are typically successful in a role seem unbothered by tough situations? Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Because they've been there before, so now they're a bit more comfortable with it.
Okay. Confidence, exposure. There's one. That's a big one.
Keeping the clients calm, keeping the situation calm.
Yeah, keeping it under control. Not leaving things to chance. That's a big thing. Is if we're taking control of a situation, can we expect a certain outcome? Yeah, we can. So we create internal anchors, and then we allow them to put us in a powerful state. I got this. Don't worry. I'm under control. So how do we do that, right? Anchoring is attaching a strong emotional state to a specific trigger. If you guys have been with me long enough, you've heard me talk about triggering points, trigger smells, trigger sounds, trigger emotions. Because when we have something that's touch, sound, phrase, gesture, it can instantly recall a state. Does anyone have something now that you can think of that's something you do to get yourself refocused, to pop yourself out of a bad thought? I saw Erica come off chat. Mikey?
I like to walk. I literally walk, pace, miles and miles a day.
Okay. Nervous pacing. Got it. Not exactly confidence building, but it works. I'm messing with you.
Mentally calming is what I would call it.
Okay. So motion for you. Okay. Mikey?
About the same. I mean, if you're in a stressful situation, you have to step back and look at it from a more, from a little bit more distance, take a breather, and just realize that it's not the end of the world. We'll figure it out.
Right. Anyone have a song that just puts them in a different mood? We ever listen to a song and it like made us sad from nowhere, out of nowhere?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Talk about an emotional anchor. How about the smell of something, right? Did your mom ever bake something that was just so delicious that when you smelt it, even well after she left this place, that you were instantly reminded of that? You were brought back to that place when you first had it or had it multiple times? Talk about a strong anchor. What about a sound? I wish I had my shotgun next to me. I would rack it real quick. Is that not a sound that will trigger an emotional state? Because we have these emotional connections to sight, sound, taste, smell, that's going to anchor us into a different state. So we have to find out where these powerful bricks of memory lie and where we can uncover them. One of the things I like to do is you can program yourself into a better state. For myself personally, if something goes wrong, I trip, I fall, I drop something, it breaks, it smashes, I don't get mad. I laugh at myself. And I go, well, that's never happened before. I say it out loud. Well, that's never happened before. And it's just the absurdity of me going like, you know what? I literally just dropped a gallon of milk all over the floor. I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes cleaning it up. And I can be mad about it, but I can be like, well, that's never happened before. Because it reminds me that that moment, that issue, that situation, not that serious.
Had a bold coach say, "Don't get mad about the things you can't control."
Your bold coach is Jesus Christ. Religion tells us the
One
same
of them.
thing. Yeah. Don't get mad at things that you cannot control, right?
It's
What's
funny
that?
that you said that you laugh because every time I stub my toe or I hit my shin or whatever, I always laugh.
Right. What we're trying to do is we're trying to recall a powerful state. And calm is actually a powerful state. I'm a fighter. I grew up fighting in the ring, out of the ring. And we know that the person that is the most calm in the fight is probably the one that's going to win. Why is that? 'Cause you
Making
think,
rational.
right?
Yeah.
You can observe better, you can respond better, you have a better plan to it. No, not right. Get out of here, pants.
That's the same thing in pickleball.
Yeah, is when you're in a fight, you see two fighters, like my friends that did IFCL, cage fighting. You see the one that's jumping around like a crazy person, getting all excited, getting all hyped up. And then there's the other person over there that's you can tell their body's tense and they're just kind of focused and they're thinking and they have a game plan and they go in. They're usually making better decisions because they can see the entire picture. They don't become tunnel visioned. When we get highly emotional, same thing with our clients, we become tunnel visioned. We fixate on something that is hyper serious when it's not. I have a deal right now that the buyer's agent has asked us multiple times, will your sellers call in the insurance claims on the front the block between the driveway doors, sorry, the garage doors. It's the pillar between the garages. It's got some cracks. They're settling cracks in an adobe house that's 100 years old. It's going to be there. And they are fixated on exactly how this is going to cost a fortune. It's going to be thousands of dollars to fix this. And they're stuck on stupid. You've heard me say that. They're stuck on stupid when they come to that. So I just reach out to a friend and said, hey, can you fix blocks like this? He goes, no, I can't, but I have a friend that can. Here's his number. I texted him this morning. I was like, hey, got your number from a mutual friend of ours, said that you can fix Adobe. What do you think it's going to cost? He goes, good morning. I was like, good morning. He goes, yeah, I can do that for $80. They were so fixated on the cost and how they're going to afford it and how they're going to do it. They never looked to find someone who can do it. They're so focused on the problem, they can't see the way out. So that's why we have to stay calm, not affixed to the solutions or not affixed to the problem, but more solutions oriented, right? If plan A doesn't work, go to plan B. You got to stay calm. Even when you get punched in the face, you got to stay calm because your emotions will hijack you and you will not be able to think clearly. Because a powerful state is confidence, calm, excitement, and clarity. Close your eyes and relive a moment you felt fully confident. Think of that moment. Right? Anchor yourself back to it. Maybe there's a physical trigger. Love him or hate him, he's still out there. Anyone know who Andrew Tate is?
Yes.
Yeah, he says a lot of toxic male rhetoric, but there's one thing you can always see him doing. When he's in a tough situation, he does this. He puts his fingers together and he creates this like pyramid shaped thing. He calls it his power pyramid. But no, I just want to showcase, you can see him. He will do that because it puts him back in focus. It's his physical trigger to remember to stay calm.
Dan, I told Charles something recently. We were at an open house. I was talking about power stances and something I learned years ago when I was in my 20s before going into an interview. Like when you're waiting outside to have an interview, you know, maybe you're sitting in a chair, you're waiting, you're small, you're hunched over. And I was taught to just go into the bathroom real quick, stall or around the corner somewhere where no one can see you and make yourself big and power stance it. Do a Superman stance, do a, you know, just take up space and make yourself larger. And it's crazy how much that will impact your mental state. And then you go in and have a completely different presentation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a physical trigger to anchor an emotional state. I used to have a friend. I still have a friend. He's still alive, still my friend. But we used to go out drinking a lot back in my heydays in my 20s. And he had to get himself in what he called, let's get into state. And he would jump around like a monkey. He would jump around like an absolute idiot, make himself loud and scream and wiggle his arms and hoot and holler him and just make a fool of himself in the parking lot. And it would just like trigger this excitement inside of him in this emotional state. And the rest of the night, he got rejected 100 times. Didn't matter. He went and asked 101 times because he already made himself look like an idiot. He was already past all of that. He got himself excited. But part of that was he would make himself big, right? Make himself big. Make yourself big. Because that's an emotional trigger. If you're going into a buyer's consultation or a seller's consultation after sitting at your desk all day, Christine's absolutely right. You're going to feel small. You're going to feel encapsulated. You're not going to feel big and powerful, calm. So make yourself big. Go in the bathroom. Stand there for 2 minutes like Superwoman. Or I like to do bear pose. For me, it's big, imposing because it's 6'3" and I put my arms out. I'm big. I'm like 9 foot of space. It's a big space. But that's the thing is it's an emotional trigger. Other things are scent triggers. Who here uses essential oils? Here's a trick. Find an essential oil you don't use all the time. Maybe it's sweet orange, or it's lemongrass, or it's honeybee, butterfly, blueberry, backwards milk. I don't fucking know.
And always smell that when you study and smell it before you go take the test.
Yeah, smell it when you're practicing your buyer consultation, or smell another one when you're doing your listing consultation. And when you go do your buyer listing consultation, take a smell of that essentials oil. Boom, olfactory retrigger. It's one of the strongest memory triggers. Right? Think of a smell. What's a powerful smell in your life that triggers a good emotion?
Lilacs.
Lilacs. Okay. Boom. What emotion does it bring you?
Brings me back to my childhood, living up by my grandparents because they always had lilacs.
Okay.
Race fuel.
I was just gonna say 2-stroke engine smell.
Yeah, mine is the smell of race fuel too. I love that. It brings me back to excitement. Right? But let's think about that. Close your eyes for a second and think of a smell. Think of that moment. And what emotions does it bring up? Right? Does it calm you? Does it excite you? Does it scare you? And if it's not putting you in a powerful state, let's get rid of it. Let's find something that does. And what you do is you do that 3 or 4 or 5 times, and you can anchor yourself to that moment. It's insane. These are different anchors than we were talking about, like your post-supposition anchors. This is actually just emotional anchoring, foundational anchoring. So if you've done the smell, you've done the physical size, you've done the visualization to anchor you, when you're about to do something that's against your willpower, right? Raise your hand if you love cold calling. That's what I thought. So that's what we would do. We would do an emotional anchor. We would make ourselves big, or we would smell our sweet smells of chamomile lilac bath. And we would then make the calls. We would put ourselves in a better state. Another thing for this is when you're not in a good state, should you be making those phone calls? If you're not in a good state, shut up, Jim. If you're not in a good state, should you be around this type of environment? No, you should take yourself out of it. Let me go back to the 52 rules of.
I was going to say, be careful. You're create a bunch of broke real estate agents. If we're not in the mood to do it, don't do it.
You got to get yourself in the mood.
That's the thing. You're able to put yourself in state. But there are some things that are just wrapping you up. You don't feel good. You're sick. You can't get yourself there. You'll know. It's like, you know what? I'm not in it today. If you've been around me enough, you know there are very few days that I have canceled today. I have been in such a bad mood. I'm like, you know what? I'm canceling today. Wednesday is canceled. I'll see you guys tomorrow. because I can't pull myself out of it. Something has gotten me so wound up, so triggered, or it's been a culmination of things over time that I've pushed myself through it. Like Jim's saying, you got to push yourself through it. You can't just always throw the towel and be like, I'm having a bad day. I'm going to take a day off. No, you did that for 3 weeks. Get to work, lazy ass. But there's going to be times where you just can't shake it. So go reset. And that's for me, that's a big physical reset is when I cancel the day. You know what? Today's canceled. Subconsciously, my body hears I am at a point where I'm about to break. I better cancel it and reset. And then I'll go spend the next hour or 2 hours doing something that I know will fully reset my psychology, psychology. Because it's only downhill from there. If I'm a walking bucket of toxicity, I'm not going to add any value to anybody's life. So I need to reset. I need to reframe. And even in the 52 rules of culture for Keller Williams, it says if you're having a bad day, stay home. Well, don't have 2 bad days in a row. For me, I don't even like having bad hours. Like 2 bad hours in a row, that's a bad thing. So, because 2 bad hours becomes 4 bad hours, 4 bad hours becomes 8 bad hours, 8 bad hours, that's a bad day. Bad days easily become bad weeks become bad months become you get out of real estate. So don't have bad hours. Don't have bad phone calls. When you deal with rejection differently, you get to roll it off, right? Anyone ever heard the term be like a duck? Does water stick to a duck's back? Why?
Nope, it rolls off.
It just rolls right off, right? Right?
Or a Labrador.
My Labrador gets soaked in water. What are you talking about?
It seems like the bottom coat's always bone dry.
Yeah. If I let him, he would just live in water and then walk through the house dripping water everywhere. But that's the thing is we set these anchor points to allow us to overcome some of these tremors. So we go back to why do successful people or top agents are they successful? Where is the win? Well, the big win there is they're controlling themselves. What happens when you get 2 volatile people in a room working on the same thing together?
Implosion.
It's insane, right? I'm sitting down yesterday. So my nephew's birthday was a couple days ago, and we weren't able to celebrate with him. Neither was his mom. So I was like, you know what? Let's take him to Top Golf. So we took him to Top Golf, and we had fun. It was him and his cousins. So you and my 3 boys that you've heard stories about these little criminals, and they're in tons of energy. But you bring Aston in, who's my oldest nephew, and it's a powder keg because the energy in the room, they're all trying to jockey for position. I'm the alpha. I'm the most important. I'm gonna be the loudest. I'm gonna make this thing. So for me, because they're 12 and 13, 14, they can't control their emotional states very well yet. I have to. So instead of letting them sit in the living room playing Minecraft together and fighting and screaming and arguing, I got my laptop, came out of my office, and sat on the couch in between 3 of them. Immediately happened to the room. Do you think they kept hollering and hollering and yelling and screaming? What do you think happened?
They calmed down, right?
Not quiet.
Right. Why do you think that is? I didn't tell them to. I didn't say, shut the fuck up, you can't do that. No, I just brought my computer and sat next to them and started working. My emotional state demands calm. So when my boys are having a hard day and they're ramping and rattling crazy, we just insert ourselves. Because they know, right? Hey, that behavior isn't tolerated. And I got them from fighting each other in Minecraft, which is kind of the dumbest thing you can do. Like, let's go PvP in Minecraft. I'm like, that's not the point of the game. They just want to be jerks to each other and blow up each other's bases, which I think is kind of funny personally, but I can't tell them that. 2 working together. So we can do the same thing. As we have 2 difficult parties, we insert this very calm environment, this powerful calm. We then can get them from colliding to collaborating. We get them from fighting to working together to solve a problem. That is your job as a real estate professional, is to provide that perspective, that calm, that better state, that decisions can be made. So however you need to get there, it could be sight, you could look at a picture, you could look at a word, you can read something. It could be sound, you can listen to a song. It could be, you know, a hymn, it could be a mantra, it could be something, it could be smell. It could be the smell of cookies. Oh, man, my wife makes cookies, dude. I don't care how tired I am, I will wake up. Would you like a cookie? Yes. Right? I could be dead asleep. If I'm in a coma, have my wife make cookies and bring them to the hospital, all right? It'll probably wake me right up because I'm like, yep, I will have one. Yes, please. But the other thing is taste. One of the biggest struggles of most people these days is anxiety. The unknown. It makes people uncomfortable. Anxiety is a forethought, right? It's worried about the future. It's concerned about what's going to happen, what could happen, what may happen. Oh my God, I can't control it. What happens if the dog catches on fire? What happens if the dragon gets loose? All these things, oh my God, crazy. A little bit of salt on the bottom of the tongue. What does that do? Snap back to reality. Because if you're not visual, audible, olfactory, your taste.
I carry around sour candy, and if I'm feeling really anxious, and I don't like sour candy, but if I'm feeling really anxious, I'll pop in a little sour gummy bear, and it calms me down immediately.
You're absolutely right. My wife, we're flying out here in about an hour and a half. My wife hates flights, like terrified of flights. Not terrified. She's gotten way better, but she just
Sounds like that gummy has THC.
all yours do. That's why they're sour. They're skunky. But the thing is, my wife does. Even last night, she said, "Hey, I packed my sour candies." Great, just in case. Same thing. It's a taste reflex, guys. We don't have to wait to feel confident, or wait to feel happy, or wait to feel calm. You can trigger it yourself. You can create the emotion by going back to triggers, going back to anchors. There's a reason I tell you, if you're working from home, don't sit in the same spot you relax. Why is that? It's a physical trigger. When you get to the office, don't you feel differently than when you're at home? It's a physical trigger. I'm sitting down at my desk. I'm not sitting here to watch YouTube. I'm sitting here to work. If I want to relax, I'm not sitting in this chair. The problem is when you start doing that, you start working where you relax, you have no definition of line. You'll start taking your laptop with you to the couch, and you'll be working until 9 o'clock at night. Not that I know that personally.
Seems like Jim just demonstrated that.
Well, Jim's there for a reason because he's got probably his heating pad on his back. Jim has a back, and yeah, so that's the only place he can sit when his back is flaring. He can't sit.
I got to do it in the morning. If I don't do it in the morning, it's jacked the rest of the day.
Yeah, so it heats his back up and releases it. So I know why Jim's there, but Jim's also not looking straight like he would at the TV. He's got himself kicked to the side because of his laptop. The heating pad's on there, so.
Sounds like Jim needs PRP.
What's
I don't know what that is.
Platelet-rich plasma.
Never
It's
heard of
a
it.
therapy that's like game changing for people that have back problems. Anyway, you guys should research it.
There we go. So here's your challenge, guys. Last 2 minutes. Set an anchor. Find an anchor you can do to reset yourself back into calm, confidence, and focus. Sight, smell, sound, physical touch, whatever, right? And then use it. Pay attention to when your clients enter a strong state too. Like they get excited about colors or they get excited about smells. You can start biohacking other people.
Just like I say, open houses, make a batch of cookies.
Yeah.
Home.
Vanilla is one of the most polarizing smells. It takes people right out of a bad place. Sugar cookie is one of the smells closest to it. So you can put scent in a house. You can put sounds. Like, you ever go to a big department store, like what are those high-end stores like Neiman Marcus and shit? What do they got playing in the radio?
Rage Against the Machine.
Exactly. They've got songs specifically designed to trigger an emotional state of wanting to buy. Billions of dollars of research go into emotional states. So spend some time on your own, because anchoring helps you take ownership of your emotions instead of letting the day control it. You can program your body to fire in confidence like a light switch. Just like right that. Back to reality. With practice, it becomes automatic. And that's why it seems like top producers aren't shooken by things. That seems like top producers just seem to not get bothered by things because one, they've been there before, but two, it's a lot of emotional control. What'd you learn today?
How we control our emotions, how we can get set, have us set, how we can set ourselves back in position.
Yeah. Don't let the day run you. Run the day. Was today worth your time?
Yep.
So sadly, I won't see you for the next two. I'll be off Friday and Monday. However, this call will be open. You guys can still meet and greet just like you do when I'm not here. The calls are better when I'm not here. They're not recorded. They're not on YouTube, so I don't get to see what happens. So come be a
They're
part.
just as good. They're just as good.
No, they're better. When you guys run it yourselves. there's less
But
money.
Audrey, don't lie to man. They're amazing.
I know better. When I'm not here, you guys show up in a different way and you help each other out and you talk about things that we don't talk about. So it gives you a better insight on things. So I'm excited to hear how things went on Tuesday. If you do need me, I have my cell phone, guys. I'm not going to Guam. I still have I'm just going to be in Seattle. So text me, call me. I'll be there for you. All right?
Have fun.
Have a fantastic day, my friends.
But Dan, do you
Yes.
have bullets in your backpack?
No, I don't. I have double check.